Hey, how's it going everyone? This is YLAM here. In today's video, got a couple of news items that I do want to talk about, so let's go ahead and get right into it. The first one that I want to talk about is on FujiCast, so it's a great podcast with a Fujifilm's manager, so definitely check it out if you want the latest news on that. But I'm going to go ahead and go over to some of the notes that's over on FujiRumors.com, and specifically the only one that I want to talk about is the X-H2 because it is a camera that has been hotly anticipated for quite a while now. We kind of already knew that the X-H2 was going to exist. They were just waiting on the technology to mature, and this kind of reinforces it. So they're definitely waiting on a new sensor and most likely a new processor to come out, but they pretty much upgraded all of the camera lines to the 26 megapixel sensor. So what we're really waiting on is the next generation technology, which the community is going to be very excited about. Now, where it's a little bit different at this point is that with the announcement of the GFX 100S, I'm kind of wondering whether or not I'm actually anticipating or waiting on the X-H2 at this point, because if I'm going to be looking forward to actually upgrading to medium format or large format, I'm probably not going to invest in both camera lines. I've also gotten quite used to using the Canon cameras again, and personally for myself, I don't really mind supporting two camera brands because it does afford me a little bit of flexibility, and it also allows me to choose what camera bodies, what lenses that I choose to support with my money. I'm definitely going to stick with the Canon line, but I think I'm going to be upgrading to the GFX line, which means that for the X-H2, we're most likely going to be selling off our X-mount gear and slowly upgrading to the GFX line. For myself, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start selling off some of the X-mount lenses, and I'm going to be picking up some used GFX lenses. I'm not really sure if I'm going to go with the variable zooms or if I'm going to go with all primes at the very beginning. I'm still trying to decide on that. That's my goal anyways for this year, but I'm probably not going to be picking up a new camera body until 2022. Now, that is my current plans right now, but if they come out with the X-H2 and they have some really great groundbreaking technology, something like a global shutter for the crop sensor line, that would be something that I would have to reconsider on whether or not I want to get rid of all of my lenses. But for now, I do plan on getting rid of a lot of my lenses. I am still recording on the X-H1. It's probably one of my favorite cameras, and I'm definitely going to keep it along with some of the lenses for it because it's just a really great YouTube camera, and I don't really feel like there's any reason for me to get rid of it or upgrade from it because it's doing a terrific job, and there's really no need for me to upgrade because I don't think I can get any better with what I want to do with this camera body for a YouTube situation like this. There's definitely a whole lot of other great content on that FujiCast, so if you're interested, definitely give it a listen, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next story. So the next thing that I do want to talk about, and this deals with memory cards. I've talked about this in the past, but this is a real world example of somebody implementing this for a camera system, and it's actually really good technology, and it also goes to show how much we're overpaying for memory cards. So what you see here is for the Nikon system, and it's a very simple type of aftermarket accessory. We have a CFExpress card, and it's transferring data to an NVMe memory card, which is right down here. So for anybody who doesn't know what an NVMe is, that's the standard type of solid state hard drives that you would find on most modern computers because they are solid state, they're super fast, and nowadays they're quite cheap for even a terabyte. So they're really great memory cards. And the reason why I want to show you this is that with all of the new generation of cameras, we're moving over to CFExpress cards, except they're still very expensive. So for a 120 gigabyte card, you're looking at spending $200. For these new CFExpress Type A's, which the Sony camera is using, you're looking at paying $400 for 160 gigabytes. Whereas if you go over here and you look at these NVMe memory cards, you can get a terabyte for under $200. That is a huge difference. And if you look at the interface, it's a PCIe interface. And if you look at these new cards, they're also PCIe interfaces. So in other words, the underlying technology, they're very similar. We're just using different protocols and we're using different types of physical formats, but you can see the difference in size and cost, and it's just a bit ridiculous having to actually pay for these prices because what you're seeing is there's better technology that's already being used, but yet for these newer cameras, we're implementing new card technology that's more expensive, that's actually not better in technology. And for the longest time, I didn't know whether or not not they could actually support NVMe. But with this accessory being available, it goes to show you that it's not a technology problem, it's not a size problem. In other words, you and I as consumers, we're way overpaying for memory card technology because we don't need to go down this road. In terms of memory cards, we're actually implementing technology that's slower, that's more expensive, and that's really not any better than technology that's already existing out there. So the existing technology is cheaper, it's faster, and it's still compact enough to where camera manufacturers can definitely redesign their cameras a little bit to actually go with the shape of these NVMe drives. This is one of the reasons why I don't talk about the Sony cameras, because there's no way I'm going to pay for these memory card prices, not when I know for a full fact that there's better technology out there that's way cheaper and way faster. That's all I have to talk about for this week. I hope you're doing well out there. I hope you're enjoying your weekend, and I'll see you in the next video.